Another day, another chance, another way, another chance. Today I'll be discussing to you all about something that's pretty much been on my mind for quite some time now. So obviously we've been going over the stuff that we've been going over like APIs, API application security, so on and so forth. I'll be going over a capstone, right? So it's pretty much like for some people configuring cuisines. So let's get to this. Implementing an API. So config cuisine raves about the user application. So before I actually like continue with this, I have to introduce my navigator. My navigator's name is you know Savas. That's the name of my navigator. So he'll be going over the lesson with me. He'll be navigating it for me. So yeah, it's nice having him. Very nice. And so yeah, you'll be helping me with that lesson. So yeah, wait, let me hold on. X. Now, okay. So what that's happening, so yeah. So accomplish this task, I'm going to make requests to my application server by using Ajax on the client side, making asynchronous call to my server behind the scenes, right? So I won't need to load the course data until this user clicks a button to enroll. This change to use Ajax should help with the initial page load time, ensure that course data is up to date when the user views it. So I'm also going to be making use of like EJS and so on and so forth. So here's like user routes that we've got. So we got users, courses, subscribers, modules, views, controllers, public routes, use courses and subscribers. So this is pretty much like the overall structure of what we have. So create new routes folder, the root level of my application directory. Within that folder, create three modules sold my modules with respective routes. It's pretty much like what we went over in our lesson 28. So you got course, subscriber, and user.js. Next, remove all the user routes out of main.js and into user routes.js. This new routes file resembles the code in listing 21 to 9.1. At the top of the file, I require the express.js router and users control.js. These two modules allow me to attach my routes to the same object across my application and link those routes to actions in this user's controller. So user routes and user routes.js. So const router. So you're going to require something called express. So that's what you're going to require. Then that router user controller, because you require controllers that use controller, router that get, so on and so forth. Then you got a models.router. So that's what we have. So yeah, that's what we have. You know what I mean? So yeah. So all routes in index.js, so user routes.js. All, route, all routes in like index.js. So import our variables. right? Then for our index, so we're gonna require the express.js and router, so on and so forth. So we can start by requiring the express.js router along with my router modules, right? At the end of the file, export my router object now contains all previously defined routes. So you got home routes, error routes, course routes, subscriber routes, user routes, home routes, all types of routes. So with all these routes we organize, we'll still be able to access my index of courses and individual courses at the courses ID path respectively because my routes are more organized, have room to introduce new route modules without complicating my code structure. So in like programming, the less code you have, the better. The more the the more employable you are, the better chances you have, to be taken seriously. So code for courses module.ejs. You got your button ID, module button, so on and so forth, in latest courses. It's pretty much like what we had last time, right? For our courses, that's pretty much what we have. When we use like APIs. Okay, my thing's still working now. Thank goodness. All right, so it's pretty much what we had. For latest courses. Let's say we'll be making use of hash. My modules. We'll be making use of you know we'll pretty much be making use of EJS. We'll be making use of making use of that. So that's what we're gonna be making use of, and also this navigation bar, right, which is include courses module. So that's what we're gonna be making use of. As you can see, latest courses. So we're not using an API. Instead, we're gonna be using an EJS. So EJS is pretty much like our HTML, right? In fact, EJS is our HTML. That's what it is, right? But it's like a reactive, sort of like a reactive HTML. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, you got it, Savas. Except it's gonna be making use for Express module, the module that you have now, Node. Speaking of modules, I know I'm gonna go off a bit off topic, but in order for us to have our package.json, we need initialize our node package modules, right? So npm initialize, right, dependencies, so on and so forth. You run them, right? You run out dependencies, you add the author, which is my name, so on and so forth. And then you got package.json. You know what I mean? What that does is it pretty much installs all our modules. So npm install express, and then all those get saved onto these respective packages there. And then you also got our node module, which is the biggest npm library in the world, right? Then so that's where it gets stored. So we're gonna, instead of making use of an API for our courses, we're gonna be making use of an EJS for our courses. So latest courses, next step is populating this module by using course data with Ajax and the new API endpoint, creating the Ajax function. One way to access application data without needing to refresh my web page is to make an synchronous Ajax request to my server. This request occurs behind the scenes on the browser used by the application's clients and originates from the client's JavaScript file in the public folder. To get this Ajax function to work, I need to ensure that jQuery is added to my project and linked from the layout file because I'll use some of its methods to populate my module. Then through my custom configured cuisine.js file, I will add the code in lesson 29.4. I can reference this file in layout.js using the following script tag. Yeah, so that's what you're going to be using, this tag here. So implementing an API. So that's what you can be doing. And then what else we got here is our if else statements, right? Create Ajax function to retrieve course data in config cuisine.js, document ready, if statement. Like, it's pretty much like what we had before now in lesson 28. So you can if condition for if we don't have data or we don't have data courses, you can return data courses for each course, div span class course dot title, so on and so forth. And then yeah, it's pretty much what we have. Then you get API courses, then if else statement, text try again. Yeah, that's pretty much what we have. Adding API endpoints, right? Then you're gonna create API routes. So this creates routes for our courses controller. And then this also creates an action. And what is my computer doing? Okay, computer. So this is pretty much what we have here is we create an action to enroll the users in courses control.js, response.json parameter res.json status http status.ok uh, data res.locals error.json error comma request. So we got our parameters let error object if statement error object and status ht status internet underscore server underscore error message colon error that message else error the object equals status http status code message unknown error so on and so forth. So yeah, I've got a if else statement. Then as you can see here, we've got these courses, tomato workshop, this, that, action, create action to enroll the users. So this checks whether the user is logged in, find and update the user to connect the select course, continue to next middleware, and continue to error middleware with an error message if the user failed to enroll. So that's pretty much that. And then yeah, with this action in place, I can restart the application. Try to enroll in the course before logging in. I see the message in figure 29.4, which is failed to log in. Okay. Alright, so okay. So yeah, log in. I need to log in first. Right. I'm gonna quickly unshare my screen now. Alright, so like in our last lesson, even though screen is off, but I'm sure you can recite what happened in the last lesson. I shared just now. So we hashing our login details, email address, password, so on and so forth. Right, so I'm gonna log in my details, right? And then I'm gonna yeah. Oh, timed out again. Yeah, my server timed out. That's what happened. Yeah. So let me run it again. I ran it. Let me restart my server again, restarting it, and then yeah, log in. Let me do the process all over again. Email address, test user, login. Just login. Come on, come on. Okay. Oh, what? Y'all be kidding me. Okay, okay, right. Okay, it keeps on timing out. But the gist is to pretty much log in. You'll log into my server and you'll just check on whether you logged in or not. If you've logged in, then you'll be able to join your courses. If you haven't, then return a catch, a dot catch, which is not a then but a dot catch condition, which will pretty much read out, please log in first. So you go to my latest courses, then you got culinary, making cakes, brine, cake designs, join. So I joined those already. So sorry, please log in, then try again. Sorry, please log in, then try again. Sorry, please log in, then try again. So as you can see here, I need to log in first, which I'm trying to do, but my server keeps on timing out every time I do so. So sorry, please log in, then try again. So that's what happens, and you got our users, right? And you got our users. Come on now. But sorry for that. My thing with my runtime was, so so like, last lesson we got user table, creating users, right? So this is my users table, contact, reach out to us, cooking courses, you know, our edit view, pretty much a CRUD like we had in Python, a CRUD, right? Create, delete, use, and delete, and then view, and yeah, so on and so forth. Cooking courses, home, then yeah, yeah, all the stuff that we have, and then let's debug this, our main. So obviously we got, our variables. Then after variables, we got a Mongo setup, which pretty much sets up a server. Yeah, that's what it does, right? So we got a server. Come on now. So what's that? So what's that way? I'm gonna press my inspect, right? Then I'm gonna go to network, and then in network, I'm gonna be like milliseconds. So network, right? So what happens is, got my latest courses. Then I got my API, which courses join. My bootstrap, status 3 or 4, type style sheet, so on and so forth. And then you go to my users, right? Then you're gonna go to my contacts, right? Contacts, cooking courses. So I pretty much debugged everything. no throttling needed, uncapped. So we don't need to slow down the amount of data that gets turned to like information. So yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much what we have. And then yeah, and then try to debug my main.js, but taking some time here. But my main.js, right, pretty much has my variables, Mongo setup, middleware, my server, passport setup, pretty much my decryption, serialized user, which encrypts my user, then deserialized user, which decrypts my user. Passcode, and yeah, that's pretty much what I have there. And yeah, I mean, anything on your side, Navigator, or so anything on your side?
No, I'm good, thank you.
No problem. Thank you very much for navigating my video. Take care of this, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.